British generals feared two names in the 1800s, Napoleon and an Indian king they couldn't even pronounce properly. But guess what? This king didn't rule Europe, he ruled South India. And while Napoleon fell, this man fought the British like a storm they couldn't stop. Imagine being born into royalty, but choosing the sword over silk. While European kings threw lavish parties, this man trained in guerrilla warfare, built his own rockets, and protected his people like a lion. He didn't wait for freedom, he fought for it every single day. The British offered him alliances, bribes, even betrayals, but he said, "I would rather live a day as a tiger than a lifetime as a sheep." And he meant it. He died on the battlefield, sword in hand, not on his knees. His name? Tipu Sultan, the man who made the British tremble more than Napoleon ever did. His rockets laid the foundation for modern warfare. His courage, unmatched, but his story, forgotten. If this gave you goosebumps, share it, because legends like Tipu Sultan don't die, they just need to be remembered. Follow for more forgotten Indian heroes. The British Empire had over 2.6 million soldiers, but one barefoot Indian farmer made them retreat. Alone, no army, no sword, just rage, courage, and a broken plow. I used to think heroes wore uniforms, medals, or at least had armies behind them. But then I read about Veer Narayan Singh, a tribal landlord, falsely imprisoned by the British for helping the poor. They called him a criminal, but he was just hungry for justice. He broke out of jail, not with violence, but with the help of villagers who believed in him more than their own gods. They didn't have rifles, just bamboo sticks and a burning need to be free. While we scroll through our phones today, Veer Narayan stood alone on a muddy battlefield. British forces loaded their rifles, and he stood with firewood and fire in his eyes. He knew he'd die, but he also knew if he ran, thousands behind him would remain slaves. So he didn't run, and for a moment the world paused. The British stepped back, not out of fear, but respect. He was shot, martyred, but not forgotten. In 1856, before even the great 1857 revolt, Veer Narayan Singh became the first true echo of resistance. You don't need an army to fight for what's right. You just need to stand up even when you're alone. So next time you feel powerless, remember this barefoot warrior who shook an empire alone. "300 Spartans? Cool story. But what if I told you India had its own Spartan, and he didn't just fight to the death, he fought with a broken body, a dying soul, and still won, alone." Imagine you're leading an army, but your own brother betrays you. You're outnumbered, outarmed. The enemy is the greatest force on the subcontinent, the Mughals. And then, just when your troops look to flee, you rise, sick, burning with fever, barely able to stand, and whisper, "Deserters may flee, but I will die for Assam." This wasn't a movie. This was Lachit Borphukan, the general of the Ahom kingdom in 1671, defending Guwahati against Aurangzeb's mighty Mughal fleet. Lachit wasn't just a warrior, he was a broken man carrying the burden of his people. He saw what defeat would mean, slavery. He knew pain. He buried his own father because he failed his duty, yes. He executed his own uncle for being late with supplies, not out of cruelty, but because in his world, duty came before blood. He didn't ask his soldiers to sacrifice, he showed them how to sacrifice. He fought while vomiting blood. He couldn't walk, so he was carried on a stretcher, still commanding, still fighting, until the invincible Mughals turned back. And yet, how many of us know his name? Lachit Borphukan, India's unsung Spartan, who didn't die in glory, but lived to remind us that the true warriors aren't born in war, they're forged in honor. Tell the world his name. Type Lachit lives on in the comments if you still believe in forgotten heroes. What if I told you that a simple circle drawn thousands of years ago holds the blueprint to unlock your mind, body, and universe? India's ancient mandalas aren't just art, they're an energy code. Last year, I was burnt out, overworked, overstimulated. I was doing everything right, meditating, journaling, trying to be present, but nothing was working until I stumbled upon a hand-drawn mandala in my grandfather's old diary. It looked like a random pattern at first, but he had written just one line below it. This is not art, this is alignment. I started researching mandalas. Not the modern coloring book versions, but the ones found in ancient Indian temples and scriptures. These weren't just shapes, they were sacred geometry, designed to reflect the structure of the cosmos and the flow of energy in the human body. Every spiral, every petal matched with the chakras, with planetary alignments, with life itself. And here's the part that gave me chills. Scientists have found that when people meditate on mandalas, their brainwaves sync, stress drops, and energy centers realign, not just spiritually, but biologically. These ancient designs weren't meant to be pretty. They were codes, tools to balance your life, heal your mind, and unlock power that you didn't know existed. So next time you see a mandala, don't just scroll past it. Pause, breathe, let it guide you, because sometimes the secret to your highest potential isn't hidden in the future. It's already drawn in the circles of your past. How do you escape a fortress guarded by thousands when you're the most wanted man in an empire? Shivaji didn't just escape, he vanished. And what he did next, it shook the Mughals to their core. There's a moment in every man's life when the walls close in. Shivaji was in Agra, trapped, betrayed by Aurangzeb. No weapons, no army, just a sharp mind and a pulse that refused to quit. He looked around, saw nothing but chains waiting for him. Just like us, when the system pins you down and there's no way out, you either break or break the rules. Shivaji chose the second. He pretended to be sick. Days turned into weeks. While the Mughal spies relaxed, thinking the lion was dying, he was plotting. Secretly, he ordered giant sweet boxes, pethas, daily, for temples and Brahmins. But no one knew. These boxes weren't filled with sweets. They were packing freedom. On the final day, Shivaji and his son Sambhaji hid inside one of those wooden crates, breath held, heart pounding. If even one soldier checked, he'd be executed on the spot. But he didn't blink, because fear is loud, but faith is louder. The boxes were carried right past Mughal guards. No one noticed. Shivaji had vanished, like smoke, from the heart of the empire, and Aurangzeb left humiliated. Shivaji didn't just escape. He declared that no empire is stronger than courage, guided by wisdom. So the next time you feel trapped, remember, escape isn't about running, it's about outthinking your captor. Share this if you believe a lion never bows, not even in a cage.